What if I told you that the money sitting in your bank account is secretly disappearing? Not from theft or a computer glitch, but from a silent, invisible force that erodes its value every single day. This is the single biggest reason why just saving money isn't enough to build wealth. Before we dive in, please remember that this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. My goal is to help you understand these concepts so you can make your own informed decisions. With that said, in this video, we are going to break down exactly what this invisible force is. It's called inflation. I will provide a clear framework that simplifies this subject, explaining what it is, why it happens, and most importantly, what you can do about it. By the end, you'll have an actionable step you can apply immediately. Make sure you stay for the final point, where I'll cover the costliest financial mistake that trips up nearly everyone. So, let's start with the big question: what is inflation? In the simplest terms, inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and as a result, the purchasing power of your money is falling. Think of it this way. Remember 20 years ago, around 2005? A ticket to the movies might have cost you about $6. A gallon of gas was a little over $2. Today, that same movie ticket is probably closer to $15, and that gallon of gas is significantly more. The movie hasn't changed. The gas is still gas. So what happened? Your dollar just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. It buys less. This loss of buying power is inflation in action. You've probably heard stories from your parents or grandparents about how they bought their first house for a price that sounds ridiculously cheap today. That wasn't because houses were magically cheaper, it was because the value of a dollar was much, much higher back then. What we're experiencing is the same process in our own lifetime. This highlights the crucial difference between your money's nominal value, the number on the bill, and its real value, what it can actually buy. The goal isn't just to get more dollars, it's to increase the real value of your money. Here's another example. Let's say you have $100 today. You could buy about 20 cups of premium coffee. But if inflation is running at 3% per year, then next year, that same $100 bill will only buy you roughly 19 cups of coffee. The year after that, maybe only 18. Your $100 is still $100, but what it can get you has shrunk. It's like a slow leak in your financial tire. You might not notice it day to day, but over time, it leaves you flat. This also has a huge impact on your income. Let's say you get a 2% raise at your job. You feel great, you're earning more money. But if the inflation rate that year is 3%, your purchasing power has actually gone down by 1%. You have more dollars, but you can buy less stuff. This is how people can feel like they're working harder, but not getting ahead. This brings us to our second key point. Why does this even happen? Why do prices constantly seem to be going up? Well, there are two primary drivers. The first is called demand pull inflation. This happens when demand for goods and services outstrips supply. Think of it like a popular concert. If there are 50,000 people who want tickets, but only 10,000 seats, the ticket price skyrockets. The same thing happens when everyone wants to buy cars and houses, but there aren't enough to go around. Prices get pulled up by high demand. The second driver is called cost push inflation. This occurs when it becomes more expensive to produce goods and services. For example, if the price of a key resource goes up, it becomes more expensive to make and transport products. Businesses then pass that increased cost onto you, the consumer. The price of your groceries gets pushed up by rising costs in the supply chain. Central banks, like the Federal Reserve, also play a role by managing the money supply. Now, here's a crucial point. A small, steady amount of inflation, usually around 2%, is actually considered healthy for an economy. You might be thinking, wouldn't it be great if prices went down? This is called deflation. And while it sounds good, it can be catastrophic. If people expect prices to be lower next month, they stop spending today. Why buy a car or a TV now if it will be cheaper later? This causes demand to collapse, businesses to lose money, and people to lose jobs. So, a little bit of inflation acts like a gentle nudge, encouraging the steady flow of money that keeps the economic engine running. The real danger isn't the existence of inflation. It's when it is high and outpaces the growth of your income and savings. And that realization is often the key to making progress. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown valuable and you appreciate this clear, in-depth approach, a quick click of the subscribe button below is the best way to let me know. It helps this channel continue to create helpful content just like this. Now, let's move on to what is arguably the most crucial point. This brings us to the common pitfall I mentioned earlier, the massive cost of doing nothing. Believing that your money is safe simply because it's in a savings account is one of the most destructive financial myths. Let's do some simple math. Imagine you have $10,000 saved in a high-yield savings account that pays you 1% interest per year. That sounds okay, right? You'll earn $100. But let's say the inflation rate for that same year is 3%. While you earned 1%, the purchasing power of your money decreased by 3%. So what's your real return? It's negative 2%. Your $10,000, even after earning $100 in interest, can now only buy what about $9,800 could have bought a year ago. You didn't see the money leave your account, but you lost $200 in real-world value. It disappeared. Now, imagine that effect compounding year after year. Over 10 years, at that same rate, your original $10,000 would have the purchasing power of less than $8,200. You played it safe, you saved your money, and yet you lost nearly 20% of its value. And if you think that loss is bad, project it over a 30 or 40-year career. $100,000 saved for retirement today could have the purchasing power of less than $50,000 by the time you actually need it, if it's just sitting in cash. It is a silent halving of your life savings. This isn't a hypothetical risk. For anyone not actively growing their money faster than inflation, it is a mathematical certainty. Think of your savings as a bucket of water you'll need for the future. Inflation is a tiny pinprick hole in the bottom. One drop a minute doesn't seem like a big deal. But walk away for 10 or 20 years and you'll come back to a half-empty bucket right when you need it most for retirement or a major purchase. This is the silent thief of financial futures. This isn't just about losing a few dollars on your grocery bill. This is about the erosion of your biggest life goals. The retirement you're dreaming of, the college fund for your children, the down payment for a future home. Inflation puts all of them further out of reach. A nest egg that feels safe and substantial today could be woefully inadequate in 20 years. By standing still, you are, in reality, letting your future financial security drift backward year after year. So, let's bring this all together. we've covered how inflation is the slow decrease in your money's purchasing power, making everything more expensive over time. It's not just about prices going up, it's about a fundamental shift in the value of the money you work so hard to earn. We've seen how this is caused by basic economic principles. And most critically, we've learned that just letting your money sit in a savings account means it's actively losing its value year after year. Understanding this isn't about being an economist, it's about being in control of your own financial future. To make this practical, here is your one assignment. This week, I want you to do two things. First, do a quick online search for the current annual inflation rate, or CPI rate, for your country. Just get the number. Second, log into your bank account and find the annual percentage yield, or APY, that your savings account is paying you. Now, compare the two numbers. Is your savings rate higher or lower than the inflation rate? That difference is the rate at which your savings are either truly growing or secretly disappearing. I encourage you to share just the difference, not your personal details, in the comments section below. If this is the kind of practical, detailed analysis that you find valuable, and you want to continue mastering your personal finances by making complex topics simple, the best way to support this channel and see future content is to subscribe. The goal here isn't to get you to panic, but to get you to act. Understanding inflation is the first step. The next step, which we'll cover in future videos, is learning how to invest your money so it grows faster than inflation, protecting and increasing your purchasing power over time. To do that, just click the subscribe button right below this video and be sure to turn on notifications. Thank you for your time and attention today, and I look forward to seeing you again.